What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm reviewing the Adidas YEEZY Boost 350 V2 in the Cinder colorway. Even though some release dates for other sneakers from other brands have been pushed back because of everything that's going on right now, it looks like Adidas is still releasing the Cinder colorway on March 21st. However, it does look like the release for these sneakers is going to be online only, which to be honest makes a lot of sense. Just like all the other 350 V2s that have released over the last couple years, it looks like the 350 V2 Cinder is releasing for the same retail price of $220. If you'd like to grab a pair of the Cinder 350s early or just check the going resale price, I've left a link to GOAT in the description below, which is actually where I grabbed my pair. And even though this shoe does look like a lot of the other 350s that have released over the last couple years, I'm not mad at it. It might not be the most exciting colorway in the world, but it's something that I think a lot of people wanted, and I'm happy that it's coming out. I know I've complained a lot in the past about how a lot of the 350 colorways look so similar to one another, but to be honest, Yeezy have given us so many new silhouettes this year, I can't really be mad anymore. And to be fair, the 350 V2 is kind of like the everyman Yeezy now. This is the shoe that seems to be what Kanye was talking about when he said he wants everyone to have a pair of Yeezys. The 350 V2 is kind of like becoming the Yeezy AF1, and at first I didn't totally understand that, but now that I'm sort of in that mentality, it doesn't bother me that they release 5 different colorways that look almost exactly the same. I mean, well, not as much as it used to. And genuinely, they picked a great sneaker to make their keystone or their flagship product. The 350 V2 is probably one of the most popular sneakers of all time. So with all of that out of the way, let's jump right into the 350 V2 Cinder and find out what makes it different. Starting off with the upper of this shoe, and as you probably expected by this point, in fact, I think I've said that exact same line in like 5 other Yeezy reviews, but a majority of the upper of this shoe is made up of prime knit. Spoiler alert, it's a very similar shoe to a lot of other 350 V2s. When I first saw this shoe online, I really thought that the upper of this sneaker would be much more of a black than it actually is. When you actually look at the prime knit, especially in person, you'll notice that it's actually a very dark gray or sort of darkish brownish gray. The sort of burnt gray color definitely fits with the Cinder theme, so now I'm understanding a lot more why they called this shoe the Cinder. And like some of the more recent 350 V2s, all of the prime knit is the exact same tone of gray, and you can really see that on the medial side of the shoe. One kind of surprising difference between this colorway and some of the previous colorways is actually the stitching running down the center of the shoe. For pretty much all of the 350 V2s that released over the last almost 3 years, the stitching down the center of the shoe came in sort of an X pattern. And then for some reason on the more recent models like the Desert Sages and the Marshes, the stitching was actually inverted so that you didn't really see any stitching at all. But for some reason, they decided to switch up the stitching once again and instead have stitching running down either side of the center of the shoe and not down the center itself. It's just such a weird change. I mean, it doesn't look bad, there's nothing wrong with it visually, but it's so odd that they'd adjust it like 3 years into the lifespan of the shoe. And it's not even like they're trying to hide the stitching like they did with the Marshes or the Desert Sages, they just decided to change it up for some reason. And then moving up on the sneaker, you get to your standard rope laces, which weave through the prime knit as usual, and this time around they come in a cinder gray. And then moving inside the sneaker, you get to a slightly lighter gray sock liner with your standard Adidas 3 stripes in 3M on the heel. On the Cinder colorway, we have a black insole with the Adidas and Yeezy branding printed on the heel in white. As for sizing, I'm pretty sure you guys all know exactly what I'm gonna say. This shoe fits just like every other pair of 350 V2s. Adidas recommends going up half a size because they do fit a tad bit small, but if you're adventurous like myself or just like a more snug fit, you can go true to size, and in my case, I actually take out the insole. However, everyone's feet are different, and because of that, I definitely suggest trying the shoe on first before you buy it to make sure you're grabbing the right size for you. Continuing back on the lateral side of the sneaker, you've got this black plastic mesh stripe that runs almost all the way down the sneaker. It's definitely not really see-through like some of the more translucent meshes that we had on some of the previous colorways, so it's really kind of just there to look like a darker shade of black, I guess. tops. And then moving around to the heel of the shoe, you've got this pull tab in a dark cinder gray. And unlike some of the previous Yeezy colorways, there's no contrasting accent stitching. And then moving down on the shoe, you get to your classic Yeezy 350 ribbed rubber midsole. Unlike some of the previous 350 colorways, this rubber is completely opaque, which means you can't see through it at all. As you can tell, these rubber side panels come in a matching cinder gray. And of course, as the name of the sneaker would suggest, underneath the rubber you've got a full-length Boost midsole, which makes this shoe very comfortable underfoot. Moving down to the bottom of the sneaker, you've got this dark brown rubber outsole, which is accented by this yellow hit on the heel. Of course, the rubber has punch outs through to the Boost, which should allow for some expansion and give you a little bit better cushion. The one thing that I've got to say though is that as much as I like this color, I wish it was a semi-translucent gum color instead of this dark brown color. And actually, while I'm on that topic, I kind of wish the entire midsole had been the same shade of brown, because I feel like this sort of gray and brown look, while not bad, just isn't that exciting. I feel like if they had made the bottom of the sneaker gum and the top of the sneaker even this sort of dark gray color, it would have been a unique look, and while it wouldn't have stood out as much as some of the neon green colorways, people would have been really into it, at least in my opinion. I feel like they were just so close to having a really excellent colorway, and while I don't dislike this colorway, in fact, like I said before, I think this is one of the better colorways, I feel like it could have been just that much better. The Yeezy Boost 350 V2 Cinder is a great sneaker to pick up if you missed out on the black colorway and you really want to grab a shoe that looks pretty similar. Or hey, you might just love the look of this sneaker, and I totally get that. It's a good looking pair of Yeezys. But if you already have a lot of pairs of Yeezys, or if you already have that black colorway of the Yeezy, I just don't feel like this is a necessary pickup. That said, if you like it, go for it. It's a great pair of sneakers to pick up if you don't have any pairs, or if you just want a new pair of Yeezys. This is a great colorway. It's nothing really new or exciting, but like I said at the beginning of the video, this is kind of like Yeezy's AF1, and it should be thought of that way. But now I would love to know your thoughts on the Cinder 350s, and whether you plan on grabbing yourself a pair when they drop this Saturday. So let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to check out that affiliate link to GOAT in the description below if you want to grab a pair of these early, or just check the resale price. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.